Excuse me. Kingdom people. Hey, kingdom people. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, kingdom people. So listen, kingdom people. Thank you all for joining. It's kind of late for me, but I have this message, and it took me a while to get to it. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Thanks for joining. But I had to get this out. I'm hungry. I got my coffee though. Got a little left. I was riding with it. I'm so hungry, but I don't want to eat first. Because if I eat, listen, it's going to take me a minute to get this message out. So listen, I have to share with you all. Thank you all so much for joining. Hello, Positive Gemalex. Gemalex. That sounds like a dance name. Are you a dancer? I like it. I like it. And so, kingdom people, excuse me, just have to fix my stuff up. I'm glad you're catching one too, Michelle. You know, I normally do them earlier during the day. I was trying to stick to 12, but that wasn't working out. And now, listen, when I get to it, that's how the way my life is set up. I just have to get it done when I can get it done. So anyhow, it's your spirit. God was just really have been talking to me about. It's your spirit. Now we already know the reason why people behave with us the way they do is because of our light, because of God's glory on us. All those things, absolutely, whether they know it or not. But overall, God was telling me it's your spirit. And, you know, some of us, that's right, TC, One Moon Star, it's our spirit. Thank you for confirming, because we're about our business. You know, that goes hand in hand with what I'm speaking about. And God was saying, you know, people, you know, we experience a lot of things as kingdom people, as God's people, who are really walking upright before God, who are really seeking Him, who are really, you know, we're diligent about this thing. We ain't playing. I ain't flipping and flapping, tipping and tapping, juking and twerking. Well, I do juke. Hold on. But you get what I'm saying. We ain't playing. And it's our spirit. It's our spirit. So Michelle is greeting you all, everyone else in the chat, everyone else on here. That's nice of you, Michelle. So anyhow, God was speaking to me about how it's our spirit, and many times what we experience is people wanting our spirit. They want our spirit. They want what they see in us. Sometimes, it shows up in a way of trying to get close to us. Jealousy. A lot of times when we experience all that jealousy, that's a result of people wanting our spirit. We know it to be they see something or they feel like we have something that they don't have, which is true too. But God said overall, when it comes to his people, it's our spirit, which is why they're so drawn to us, which is why they want what we have, which is why they become jealous. And I'm reminded right now of, was it Mordecai, Daniel? Their spirit, they had a spirit of excellence. They had a spirit to serve God. It was their spirit. And we know how that went, with them, how people were jealous, was trying to take them out. Haman was trying to get Mordecai hung, so he wanted to take him out bad. But it was his spirit. And so, and like you said, we get the job done. We get the job done. We take care of our business. And overall, what it is that we have a spirit for God. We have a heart for God. And so God was just talking to me about how, he has shared with me, I have experienced, and I know some of you all have too, as I already kind of said, people that want to be close to you because they see something in you. It's your spirit. And sometimes they're the ones that are jealous of you and trying to do all the crazy stuff, stop, block, hoo, ha, ha, all that stuff. God was saying that they want your spirit. It's your spirit, because many people be trying to take your spirit. Many people also will come close to you or try to get close to you because they feel like if they're in connection with you, not that they will have your spirit, that too, sometimes people think they can get your spirit like that. But if it's like this, you're favored by God, you're blessed by God. If whoever is connected to you is too. So people sometimes want to get, even if they don't understand it that way, they want to get close to you for that reason. They want to benefit off of you. It's your spirit. Yes, it's what you have too, if you do. Because sometimes you don't even really be having nothing. And people be still jealous of you, want to get close to you because it's your spirit. And it's that spirit of God that dwells in you because you allow it to. And again, people want to get close to you. They want to be your friend. They want to benefit off of your spirit. And so God was talking to me about how he brought me back to someone that I know. I don't want to really go into who and how I know him. I'm trying to be careful of that as much as I can unless God moved me to speak. Not specific, but I don't want to say whether it was family. I almost just told it. But not necessarily so, because I've experienced this with different people. But God was just bringing back to my attention one of the ones that used to try to stop, block, and do all that, and tried to tear me down, and in underhanded kind of ways, passive aggressive, gaslighting, being narcissistic, trying to bully, notice I said trying to, because just because somebody trying to bully you don't mean they bullying you. You just notice what they're trying to do when you just looking like. Anyway, y'all saw me studying that for a minute because that's how you be like. Anyway, so look, God had brought to my attention this person, how he showed me how they shifted. Like a couple of years ago or so, a few years maybe, they shifted from coming at me in that underhanded way, which I was able to see, to trying to be cool with me. Not that they weren't always cool, but he was just really bringing to my attention, notice they had stopped doing that. After a certain time, at a certain time, it was like a few years ago, they weren't doing that as much. It had calmed down a lot. And God just brought to my attention, they were trying to be close to you and befriend you and be cool with you. And it was extra. And I was noticing and I was going with it because, kingdom people, here's the thing. We already kind of know, and if you don't know now, you know. Sometimes God do allow us to walk through situations with certain people because we learn it. And when He tell us to move around, that's when it's time to move around. But He's teaching you something throughout all of that. He's showing you something. Just like I'm able to explain this to you all in this manner, He allowed you to go through these things. He allowed me to go through these things when I seen all the crazy cuckoo all along, for some time. He hadn't moved me to remove myself from this person. He allowed me to stay there, and I wasn't even feeling led to move around him. I was just paying attention to what I was experiencing. And that's how I can actually explain this to you all. But God said, He pointed out to me how they stopped doing that, but they started trying to connect with me more. And they were actually starting in this place of trying to get information from me. And this is a person, I've talked about them before. Like I said, I don't want to go into who or where, how I know them. But they, what had happened was they were trying to get information from me. And, just wanted to know they were in this place of trying to, what happened was this, let me say this part first. God said they realized that you was going to walk right into what God had, what He had for me. They recognized that. They seen it. Regardless of all what they tried to do, all that had happened, they had realized that didn't stop nothing. They're not communicating that because they didn't realize I realized what they were doing all along. So they realized, okay, she's finna walk into her stuff. She not budging. And they seen the change, I'll say, the transformation. They seen what was happening, and they knew. See, that's the thing. That's how you know them ones know when the glory of God is on you and when you're growing and transforming. They see that, and they know what comes with that. They know. So this person has shifted from coming against me. I'll say it calmed down a lot. It shifted from the way it was. It was kind of hardcore for a while. They didn't know I knew that it was happening. So it was hardcore as far as I knew it was happening, but it was like to them, underhanded, passive aggressive. But to me, that's still hardcore because you coming at me. You see what I'm saying? So anyhow, hey, Lady Summer Queen, how are you? Thanks for joining. So they tried to change and start trying to be cool with me and trying to get information. And this is a person who actually I had shared something with them, an idea I had. And I come to find out later someone was sharing it with me, not knowing that I had mentioned this to them, sharing with me just, like such and such is doing such and such. I ain't say nothing to this person at the time, but they had gotten that idea from me. So, moving right along, there was some other little situations, that was transpiring and happening where, like I said, this person was trying to be close to me. And then they all of a sudden started wanting to call me. And they never did that. And let me just say this, they're older than me. They're someone I used to go to until I stopped, until I realized that, it wasn't, yeah, I wasn't doing that anymore. And so, where was I at? Oh, they started calling me, and it was interesting. And I say what I say, whatever God gave me to say, but I was aware because it was weird. It was a weird thing, and just all of a sudden you want to call me and reach out to me. And this person had even said one time, I have to do better calling more, but they only said that, of course, later when I realized what was happening, what was actually going on, because they had an agenda. And so the agenda was to get close to me because they wanted to receive some blessings. After they had tried and did all what they did, kung fu me, they was kung fu me like, not like right in my face, but I knew. And the whole point was they was really trying to harm me and hurt me. And, and I'm just hearing acting from their place of trauma, acting from their place of insecurity, projecting. What they do. They project their stuff on you or their lack of self-love on you. And so I'm just going along with everything. And yeah, they are. And it's so interesting, Teresa, because I don't know, it's funny because I was thinking about this the other day. Sometimes they have this look and they don't even realize they have this look that's so telling. They have these looks that's telling, like you say such and such. You know how they say, if when somebody look this way or the way they respond this way or don't respond, when you like share something good or something like that to that effect, they have these responses, and we all do. That's what I'm saying. It's so telling, but I don't think they be realizing that their behavior is telling. We be knowing, and not just that they have the behaviors and the facial expressions is what I'm really thinking of right now. But when they do these things, it don't sit right in our spirits. And not only do it not sit right in our spirit, because see, when the Holy Spirit talking to you, He's telling you, you know, you just knowing what. So it's interesting to me because they really do handle you like you clueless and like you dumb and don't know, but you be picking up on stuff. I mean, I'm just thinking of how for years with different people, how I didn't say a lot, nothing about a lot, that I just paid attention. People tell, they talk, they tell. I'm here as a man thinking in his heart, so is he. And what's in them gonna come out, it's gonna spill out. When people are communicating you, they're all you have to do is pay attention. But going back to what I was saying, this person was really trying to be cool with me. And I remember this person said one time, a few years ago or so, they said something to the effect of they be looking at things that you purchase when you're wealthy, like things of luxurious things and things of higher, when that things that wealthy people do, and the kind of stuff wealthy people have. And they made the statement to me and said, well, I ain't on that, but if it come my way, I want to be, I want to know. I want to know what's out there. And so, right when they said that, I knew God, Holy Spirit said, they know you're going to be wealthy. But the funny part is, what they don't know is they ain't finna get none of that wealth. It ain't coming your way. And that's a whole nother message. Because, and I'm going to say one little thing about that. When God finna walk you into your stuff, He start. This is somebody I had to, not involve myself with anymore. He just start chopping people off and said, leave them alone, leave them alone. Because these people be thinking, them ones that this applies to, they be thinking they finna walk into your wealthy place with you. But God cut them off. He showed them to you real clear. And especially for them ones that been going long, year after year, decade after decade for some of them. And you just like, then they get cut off, and that's a panic. It's a panic. But the thing is this, the point that I'm making here is a lot of the reason why they tend to be envious and jealous and all that is because it's your spirit. A lot of the reason why they try to connect with you and benefit off of you is because it's your spirit. Now, here's the thing. You can be a blessing to people. And this is what God said to me. He said, when people's heart is right, yeah, that is why God moves you, because they're not supposed to be a part of that. And then He give them a chance to correct themselves. And in this case, she corrected herself, but it really wasn't sincere. It's more about wanting to benefit off of me. And then you're being cool, but you're trying to steal my blessings behind me. If I'm speaking of an idea, why would you go and take? I mean, anybody could have did it, but this is the thing. You didn't think of it. They didn't think of it. They tried to take it from me and tried to run with it, trying to beat me to it. And so you see what I'm saying? The agenda, their agenda, their intentions wasn't good. It wasn't good. And this person is someone who, you know, they would talk, even when they were trying to be cool, they would talk and say little things. Just in sharing them, talking, being so-called transparent. They were they were saying things that were so telling. They were like telling on themselves about things, and they didn't even know that I'm listening to them, and some things they're saying I'm not okay with. Cause well, what it is it says a lot about them. They weren't realizing that they were telling horrible things about themselves, where it concerns the characteristics and traits of God that they lacked. And they telling it. They're saying it. So, but they didn't know that. And this is a so-called person of God. But we already know. That's a joke. I just heard in a joke's on them. But, I don't have anything to do with that. Here's what God said. Listen, you can be a blessing to a person. Some people love you and they appreciate you. They love your spirit. People can love your spirit and they treat you right. They treat you right. They appreciate you. They don't mishandle you. You know how these people like to mishandle people and talk down on people. And, it's a thing where why would you want to treat anybody like that? That's a reflection of who they are. But there's people who know your spirit. They know your heart. They know you're good-hearted, and they take good care of your heart. They treat you right. They appreciate you. They ain't trying to be jealous and tear you down and all that crazy stuff. And God said in those kind of cases, they can really receive your spirit. And before I go into that, let me tell you that about the people who they want your spirit, but God said they can't have your spirit. Not that they can't, but when you're in envy, jealousy, trying to block and all this old crazy stuff, he said this. God said, Matthew 5:8 said, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. You are pure in heart. It takes you to be pure in heart. And he said this to me, to see God. He said, for they shall see God. We see God. Then he gave me the depiction of Moses when he went up and where he went to in the face of God, and when he came back, he was so bright. God said, that's how you are. You seen me. We've seen him. As far as we're that close to him. When you're that close to him, you have the right spirit. You have the spirit of God, but your heart is pure. And God said, how they want your spirit, but they got this horrible heart. And someone want to take your spirit. And, I don't know if you all are familiar with harnessing. People try to harness your spirit and your energy because they want to be you so they can, have what you have. They just want what they see in you because it's good. I'm here in the kingdom of God suffereth violence, and the violence take it by force. They come at us like that because they know what we have is good. It's of God. Please believe me when I say even devils know God is good and what he gives is good, that he gives good gifts, and he's good to his people. Please believe me when I tell you, they know. That's why they come at us so hard, because they know they don't have the good of God. They don't get the goodness of God because they're not doing the good thing. They don't have the pure heart. So that's why they try to take it from us. That's why it's so violently too sometimes. But they don't have pure hearts. So how can they have your spirit? They try to take it, which you can't do. Matthew 5:9 says, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. Kingdom people, we peaceful. That's why we his children. We peacemakers. We make peace. We make peace within ourselves. We make peace with situations. We make peace with our lives. We make peace with whatever God said. We make peace if God said, go here, let that go. We make peace with it. Even if we're being erratic at times and we wasn't so much of a peacemaker, because I know at one point in time, I used to go back and forth. I used to be going off. I used to be going off. But I let that go and became peace. I let that all go because it wasn't peaceful. They had a lot to do with it. That kind of stuff can be exhausting. And when you're trying to develop and grow and, do the God thing, you start to transform and you no longer want to do those things. And if you're engaging with somebody that's what they want to be on and they bring it out of you, you remove yourself from them. Because, I don't want to go too deep into that, but my point is that even if you were at one point in time, we all have to grow and transform. That's what we're here to do. So if you were once not so peaceful or the peacemaker and God transformed you and changed you, you are now. That's why your spirit is where it's at. That's why you have that spirit of God, I'll say, in a more intense way. Because it's not that it wasn't there before. It just had to be, it was just some work that needed to be done. And you had to just grow more in God and let him grow more in you. And so God said they can't have your spirit because of their hearts, their impure hearts. Unpure hearts. Looking at you. Sometimes I just heard evil eye. People that look at you funny, and you can't have their spirit like that. Because the spirit of God is in them. When you tripping on somebody and acting all crazy and want to fight him and want to be jealous, that's not the spirit of God. In fact, we already know who is that? The devil. That's the spirit of the devil. So you can't act like the devil. Let the devil's spirit operate in you and then want the person with the spirit of God. Kingdom people. That's you. It's your spirit kingdom people that they want. It's your spirit people, kingdom people that they see. But as long as they the way they are, they have to do the work. They can't take it from you. Now, here's the thing. That where I was going before, I had to bring it back around. Well, let me say this first. Anticipating God's presence spiritually immature. God said that that's what the pure heart is. Anticipating God's presence. You anticipate his presence. You're spiritually mature. You allow him to mature you spiritually. And then I have here having integrity, moral, and spiritual courage. That's what you have. That's your spirit. It's your spirit. You have integrity. You have moral and spiritual courage. You are courageous. And, as the sister said earlier, you get the job done. You handle your business. It's your spirit. Some people, a lot of people I've come to learn that, because God was talking to me not long ago about, wow, the same person, which I ain't ready to tell y'all who, but how, and not just this person, but this person been coming up a lot. And, when anyone is trying to be you, do you, take some from you, copy you, or any of that, it's because they don't have it. God ain't dropping this stuff on them because they don't have the right spirit. The spirit of God is not in them. And I just heard, and I don't care if they go to church every Sunday. I don't care if they preach, teach. Y'all hear what I'm saying? And I'm not saying people that preach and teach and all that are all, everyone is not this way. We know this. But kingdom people, you can't, I'm just here, choose ye this day whom you will serve. You can't serve two masters because you will love one and hate the other. And listen, what I've come to learn, when people are operating in the spirit of the devil, it takes them over. If they don't let the spirit of God in to deal with that stuff, and they let go of all what they own, they really love the devil. That's what God have taught me. I don't care if they saying God, God. Even God said, when they come to me, God, I did this in your name. I did. God say, he'd be like, I don't know you. God say, like, depart from me. I know you not. He don't know them. He don't know them. But kingdom people, this is what God told me. People can be blessed by your spirit. They actually can receive your spirit. And he gave me he gave me transmute. He'll transmute your spirit from you to another, or even another from you. But when your heart is in the right place, when you honor the person, when you cherish the person, when you appreciate the person, you can't be foul and receive a spirit. And kingdom people, he also gave me transfuse, it's like a blood transfusion. You transfuse the blood from one place to another. Transmute. is what he gave me. Transmute and transfuse. He said he will do that. He does it all the time. Transmute and transfuse spirits. All the time. Even sometimes when some of our loved ones passed away, and they don't always have to be blood family, sometimes we receive a spirit. But we have to love them. We have to honor them, cherish them. He gave me the example of Elijah and Elijah and Elisha. He said that's what he did. And let me tell you, Elisha was so bold. He asked for Elijah's spirit. Wait a minute, did he ask for a double portion of his spirit, if I'm not mistaken? He asked for it. And he received it. It was transmuted, transfused, if you will, right to him. He received his spirit. But think about it. Elisha honored Elijah. He honored him. He appreciated him. He respected him. He wasn't hating it, like he wasn't doing. And God just brought to me literally Saul and David. And I'm just hearing, if Saul would have just loved on David, he would have received something, even though he was older than him. But anyway, that's what I just got. Yeah, so you can, but you can receive that. That can happen. You can receive someone's spirit. God will transmute it or transfuse it, transfer it now, I'm hearing. But you can't be on crazy with the person and be jealous and hating and be trying to steal from them and take and be underhanded. I just heard giving them uppercuts, trying to, and then you want their spirit. You don't get it that way. You get it by genuinely loving them, caring them, honoring them. That's where a lot of people go wrong. But they don't know how to. I was about to say, instead of loving you and honoring you and cherishing you, just like they said, people try to mishandle your good heart. They try to take advantage of it, take your kindness for weakness. It goes back to what I said. Only people that do that are corrupt. Because just because somebody weak, or somebody you can take advantage of them, don't mean you should. But when you have someone you love and someone that loves you, should I say, and that's good and kind-hearted, you don't go try to take advantage of their heart. I mean, of course, we know them people, they do that, and then be jealous of them and all this and all that. Now, that's a whole nother thing, because those things stem from some places. But the point I'm making here is that ain't going to get you. That's their spirit. That's not going to get them your spirit, kingdom people. It's not. Love does. Respect, honor, for real. I ain't talking about playing. God know when you playing, and so do you, kingdom people. You know when people playing and when they faking. And if you don't know, now you know. But for real, you will come to a place where you do know, because God gonna show you when it's time. When the time is right, He the Lord, He gonna make it happen for you. He gonna make it happen. You gonna know when He says it's time for you to know. But kingdom people, just like Elijah's spirit was transferred to Elisha's, your spirit is being and will be transferred to people who honor you, respect you, appreciate you, and maybe some who, just like Elijah, ask for a double, triple, what's them other quintuple portion of your spirit. If their heart is right and they bold enough to ask God for it, God will honor them. Where appropriate, of course, where He, that's all in His will, how He does things. But you can't happen, but it not from them trying to steal and block, and not from them one point in time trying to hurt you, trying to block you, throwing undercuts at you, hitting you in your head over here. You fall back, and they come back looking for you. Like, let me get that eye over there. You'll be like, oh. The people, not like that. Not like that. And not like doing that. And then when you realize, oh, this ain't working, this nigga finna walk into us. Excuse me for the way I'm saying that word. I don't mean no, well, obviously I don't mean any what? Offense, I think I'm trying to say. Because that would be like offending myself. But I don't, that's just kind of how I talk sometimes when I'm in that mode. And I'm in that mode, kingdom people. But they ain't getting it like that. And you can't now try to be nice now that you see it ain't working. And be like, ooh, let me jump on the train now. Let me be nice to you. And hold on. Now I'm going back to that person. Was still trying to steal my stuff behind my back. I'm like, and be my friend. I'm like, you're not gonna get it like that. And even if somebody think this is the thing about people taking your stuff. This on another note, but even if they call themselves taking your stuff, copy you, it ain't gonna be blessed like it would be with you. And that's the other thing that God was saying to me. He said that they know anything you do. He told me that today. He said they know anything you do is going to be blessed. So when they try to take your ideas, because they know it's going to be blessed, everything you touch will prosper and succeed, kingdom people. I almost went into my tongues. Y'all saw that? Everything you touch will prosper and succeed. Everything you touch turns to gold. And they know it. Well, they come to a place where they do. And then they want to sometimes, like I said, they want to try to let me go do it then. Let me take your idea. Let me get some information from you and try to. It ain't going to prosper and succeed for you. Even if you get a little success, ooh, it ain't going to prosper and succeed like it would for you, kingdom people. You can't steal and then go be blessed. Not stealing from God's people. It ain't going to work. It's not gonna work. And it's so funny I'm saying this because this person was a thief. They were a thief in the way of taking things like that didn't belong to them from out of their own mouth. They shared that with me without even realizing they was telling on themselves. Because that's what they do, kingdom people. These people are always telling on themselves. I always say all you gotta do is listen. Even if you want to learn something about a person, or if you don't want to learn something about a person, just listen. You gotta say nothing. Just sometimes you know how the scripture says. Sometimes it's not the scripture don't say. Sometimes it say it's be slow to speak and be quick to listen. Let them talk. Listen. But the thing is, listen and learn, and speak when you need to. Speak when it's your turn to speak. But in this case, shh. Let them talk. And then just say your little stuff every here and there. For real though, kingdom people. It's your spirit. But they can't get it like that. And some of these people really have to just do the work, especially after all that. Even when they try to clean it up, well, you got to clean it up the right way. I can't say what God will do when they clean it up. For real, for real. But I do know they ain't gonna get it trying to steal it and out slick you. They're gonna try to slick you out of your spirit. Keep the people. But they do. Every time I hear somebody speak on, oh, okay, God is working on you on that. That's awesome. At least God is working on you. See, that's the key word. God is working on you. You gotta let him work on you. See, some of them ones, I'm telling you, God, they won't let them. They will not. See, God will work on you. But if you like, I done heard people say, they didn't. I was thinking about this too this morning. But God kept bringing stuff back to me about certain things that people say. I remember somebody once told me, this came to me today. I told God, I ain't getting ready to stop cussing. That ain't finna happen. Somebody told me that. And I'm like, that means you're not letting God work on you. You're going to tell God, like, who does that? But people do. And these are the same people that want your spirit. They sit and be jealous of you and be mean and bother, be trying to copy you, be you, outshine you. But they sitting up telling God, oh, I ain't doing that though. Like, you can't get this spirit by not letting God, as you say, positive work on you. You gotta let God work on you. They be too busy trying to work on God, trying to change his man and, maneuver him to do things his way, do things their way. Then they still want the blessing. And it's so funny because this is a person, I don't even want to go into that. Well, I'm going to say this is a person that's always, well, God said don't say it. But the point is, the people, it's your spirit. It's your spirit. So when you having these experiences, I know you already know when people trying to roll up on you, when people trying to, It's your spirit, kingdom people. It's your spirit. And this is the thing, like I said, it ain't all bad. Some people, they're paying attention to you because of your spirit. Yeah, because of your light. Same thing, your spirit. But God is saying it's your spirit because, but we have our light because of our spirit, the light of God, because we let Him in. But it's because of our spirit, which is His spirit. We're one with Him. He's intertwined with us when we allow Him in. And I'm just hearing when you embody the Christ, it's your spirit. It's the spirit of it's Jesus' spirit. Because He said when you are in Christ, you are a new creature. So now you new in Him. He in you. You knew your spirit. And some of these people came to people, you was one way 10 years ago. You was one way 1 year ago. But you ain't the same. You been transforming. So your spirit been transforming. You've been going through spiritual transformations. And people can see it. And like I said, those ones that know you, even the ones that don't know you like that, and they see you and they, tune into you, it's your spirit. Now, going back to what I was saying, some people tune into you, and God has you there for a reason. God has you there so they can see you. And your spirit is actually helping some people. So I just need you to know that it ain't in vain. In other words, yeah, we deal with a lot of cuckoo crazy, but just know that God is using you to really help people, whether they're telling you or not. Because it's your spirit. They see your spirit. And sometimes it makes people ask questions, even if they're not asking you. Because these days, you can't just be walking up to people and be like, hey, how do you, I mean, I ain't going to say you can't, but that's yeah. We have to, these days, we not just so open and, people not just so comfortable doing that. Some people are, but I don't even know if I would be comfortable with someone doing that with me, especially if I don't know them or am familiar with them from a certain place. You know what I'm saying? Even not if I don't know them. If somebody just walked up to me and started asking me questions about me, I don't know how comfortable I would be with that. I want to say I would be suspicious, but God is literally telling me, no, you would know, because you would discern the spirit, and you would know how to respond. That's what God is giving me now. And God, you right. You right. You know what you're talking about, God. But Caden people, it's your spirit. And your spirit is really blessing people. So I just want to say good job, congratulations, just on doing the work. And even if, listen, my sister said God is working on her right now with that. God is working on all of us with something. All of us are at different places on our journeys. We're walking this path that God has us on, and we're all in different places. The thing is this: allow God to work on you. And because you do and you are, your spirit is changing. Your spirit is transforming. I'm even hearing your mind is being transformed by the renewing of your mind. You're being transformed. And so your spirit is changing. It's elevating. You're coming up higher spiritually. And that's going to make people notice you because you're vibing, if you will, in a place, your frequency, because your spirit, when your spirit man raises higher and higher in God, that can be felt and seen. And so, kingdom people, you're affecting people in a positive way without even knowing. And I'm just being reminded of who was that would heal people just with a shadow. Was that Paul? I want to say that's the Apostle Paul. I'm pretty sure it is, but don't quote me on that. Somebody help me here if you know. I'm pretty sure it's the Apostle Paul. I'm pretty sure. And that's what I'm getting. Many of you walking past, or people walking past you to get some healing. I know I experienced that, where people just like to be around me. I don't really deal with them, or they like to come past where I'm at or where I live or my apartment. Sometimes just to be nosy, just to hear and see. But the whole thing about that is, as long as they're not doing nothing crazy, because they sense something. And some people are getting some healing in some way or another, getting something that's helpful for them. And that's what's happening, kingdom people. You all are your spirit. It's your spirit. It's your spirit. And I'm just hearing that because that's the spirit of God. The presence of God is in you. That's the same thing as God being. Wherever you at, God is. So anytime people are around you, they're in the presence of God. You bring the presence of God wherever you are. It's your spirit, kingdom people. It's your spirit. So, kingdom people, I just had to come and share that with y'all because that was bubbling in my spirit all day. Like, I kid you not. All day. Now it's cold. Well, not cold, but not as warm. It's like, of course, you forgot me. That's what she said. What's this lady name? She said my name Starbucks. mm. I be tripping, candy people. I just be having fun. I be having fun with myself. I be cracking up. Me and her, me and her, Latricia and Latricia. For real though, I ain't playing. But kingdom people, thank you all so very much for joining. I appreciate you all so very much. And remember, kingdom people, it's your spirit. It's your spirit. Y'all doing good. Y'all doing real. I'm just really feeling that in my spirit. Y'all doing better than you know. And listen, I'm just hearing that it's because we always trying to do better. We always trying to do better, and always trying to do better is doing better than you even realize it. I'm just hearing God really commit. He loves that. God loves that you. I'm hearing He is a rewarder of those who diligently seek Him. Kingdom people, you all are so awesome. You all are doing absolutely fantastic. Okay? Please believe me. You are. It's your spirit, kingdom people. It's your spirit. And it's blessing so many people. It's blessing you. I'm literally hearing you blessing your own self. Kingdom people, thank you all for being here. I love you all so very much. You all know I don't want to leave you. But I do have to go right now. But I will be back to hold my kingdom people down. Kingdom people, above all else, let the Holy Spirit lead you in all things at all times. Kingdom people, that is my time. Remember, we are untouchable. That is my time. Now, Jesus girl is out. I love you all. Peace.